Do you know what your favorite animal should be in 2025? Should be a whale.
Oh, big fella. Whale. Okay. Maybe he only speaks whale.
Because that's what a big job is. A whale is a big job. In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can land the big jobs this year so you can make lots and lots of money. What's up, fans of the whale? It's Cam from Stripe It. This video is brought to you by our good friends at Mighty Line Tape. Go to mightylinetape.com/stripe it. I said it really fast, Matt will put it on the screen. Go there, they'll send you a sample kit of their best-selling products. And we love their products, so go there. We're gonna talk about whales. A whale is a big job. Why does your company need big jobs? So that you can make big money. That's the first thing I wanna talk about. So many people don't appreciate this if you've never done those big jobs. The amount of work that it takes you to do a $1,000 job 10 times over. Okay, so I want you to imagine it that way. 10 jobs at $1,000 compared to one job at 10,000. They are not the same amount of work. It is way less work to do one job at $10,000 than it is to do 10 jobs at 1,000. Even though the revenue is the same, the work is totally different. Now, there's some nuance to that, and like you could go on about how bigger jobs, your margins might shrink and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it's really, really important if you're trying to grow and scale your business. Stop trying to just acquire small ticket jobs. It will be so much less work pound for pound or dollar for dollar to get that whale job. So if your average job size last year was say 5,000 bucks, cool, that's good, that's great. Like kudos to you. But try and target the $50,000 job because that is way less work than doing 10 of those average ticket jobs. That's the first thing you got to remember. So Matt here was asking a question. Matt, what was your question? How do you get the whales, right?
See, he's swimming away.
Come back.
He's not coming back.
We were just talking about that. So two things you need to think about here. Think about it from the sales perspective and the marketing perspective, okay? Let's start with sales because that's better anyways. From the sales perspective, when you are talking to the people that are responsible for these larger jobs, and we'll talk about how to market these in a second, when you're talking to them, sell it confidently. Okay. So in other words, what holds a lot of companies back from selling bigger jobs, from going after the whales, is they're like, well, I've never done one. Well, of course you've never done one until you do one. You have to do one. And in order to do one, you have to sell it. So don't come to any sort of like phone call, even email, sit down sales meeting. Come from a position of strength. As long as you're comfortable doing the service, don't get freaked out at the size of the job. So tell you what this looks like in striping. You start out and you just do parking lots, right? And you restripe and super easy. And then all of a sudden you're doing an airport one day because like you're gonna take this meeting with somebody who's responsible for an airport. And you're looking at the aerial and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so much paint. It is compared to a parking lot. It's way more work. But all it really is the same thing that you've done before, just in a much bigger scope. The whale size scope. Sell it confidently, believe in yourself, you can do this. Okay, the second way to look at this though is from your marketing. And I think this is really important. So again, psychologically, what holds people back is they're like, I don't know if I can do this. And if you believe that subconsciously, as a business owner, you are going to show that subconsciously in your marketing. So what that means is on your social media, especially on your website, even when you're talking to people at like networking events, you don't have to go lie and say that you do these massive jobs for like bazillions of dollars. You don't have to lie, but put your marketing out there so that it portrays the belief that you are capable of doing those jobs. What you want is basically to target the people, target the decision makers of those larger whale jobs so that when they see your website or they see your social media, they have trust in you. They're like, okay, maybe you don't have pictures of an airport on your Instagram or your website, but if you're marketing it that way, they will believe you. And yes, there's an element of like taking a bit of a leap of faith here, doing it this way, but you really don't have a choice. The best way to land the whale jobs is to convince your market that you can do the whale jobs. All right, so let's say you hit the jackpot, you actually sold the job. In my opinion, if you sell a whale, that's the hardest part. But the reality might be like you sign the contract and your hand's shaking because you're like, oh crap, now I actually have to do it. Man, don't sweat it. Here's my advice. Go reach out to someone in your network who has done that kind of project before. If you don't have anyone, ask Matt. No, you can ask me. Like, I'll try and help you out. But the point is, go to someone who's done it. Because what you're probably gonna find in talking with someone about doing this project, that it's actually not as hard as you think. Like, it really is. That airport is really just the same size as like 20 parking lots, right? So someone who I'm working with one-on-one, we had a phone call about 6 weeks ago because he sold a striping airport. And he was a little freaked out about like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be glass beads, it's gonna be like 8-inch paint markings, 12-inch paint markings. Like, I don't know what to do. Walking through it with somebody who's done it can alleviate so many of those concerns. When you actually plan your job, and make sure you plan your job, you know, break it down into phases, break it down into chunks. Maybe it's just a parking lot. Like, we have a parking lot here in Prince George that we do. It's like over 2,000 parking stalls. It's pretty decent size, right? You can just sit down beforehand, plan it out, phase it out, how you're gonna do it, what makes the most sense. Planning solves a lot of those anxieties and concerns about how to do them. But also ask someone who's done it, because that's just the cheat code and you should do that. So my advice to you this year, go after the whales. I mean, it's like literally snowing here at the moment, and so we're maybe a little ahead of the curve, but now is the time to like plant the seeds, get your marketing in order, have those sales meetings, sell it from a place of confidence. And if you sell a whale, reach out to someone who's done it, get the help. My hope for you is that you go whale hunting this year. Matt, you wanna go whale hunting? I love whale. Let's go for whale hunting. Blubber on, baby. Keep your stripes hot, go get some whales. We'll talk to you next week.